Hi everyone, this is Bagadon, StockMarketCaddy.com. It is April 17th at about 12:30. Relatively quiet day in the markets as of right now, going into the long Easter weekend. Next week will be a very, very important week, as everyone knows from having watched our weekly chart. It is every week after is the time cycle. These markets at these highs are very much on borrowed time. But I wanted to bring your attention to not anything of a technical aspect, but I want to address something from a fundamental. My dad, God rest his soul, used to say years ago, back during the Nixon inflation days and the Vietnam and all the problems in the world at the days, he used to make a comment that when it comes down to the food on a man's table, when he's unable to feed his family, then this country is really going to have a problem. Now, thank goodness that was never the case for us, and isn't the case today. But let's take a look at some things what people are encountering. This is a futures weekly contract on oil. This is oil this time, 1 or 2 years ago was at 83 last year, this time around 87. We got oil up around 105. Let's take a look at nat gas. And this move in nat gas for those people that had to, heat their homes. Look at this move in nat gas in a matter of months from 2.6 to 4.7. All of these costs, energy costs, are passed on, passed through. Let's look at orange juice for those families that buy orange juice. This is just last, so a year and a half, 2 years ago. Actually, what's 12? Orange juice was a 77. Orange juice contract, futures contract, 164, 150% increase. Let's take a look at what next. Let's look at cocoa. Look at the move in cocoa just last year, 2.2 to almost 3, 30% increase. Let's look at coffee. Look at the move the coffee's made off the lows, 111 to almost 200, 198, virtually doubled. These are the things that go into producing what the world eats. This is what do we got here? This is, I think this is, bear with me, get the chart here. Soybean oil, 37 to 43. How about corn? Let's take a look at corn. I think the world needs corn. Pretty good move here from 428 to almost 500. How about oats? Those guys that are buying their beer, seeing a price increase, 225 in oats to 410. Let's look at this is soybean. Pretty important in other parts of the world. Putting here, look at this move here off the lows down here, 661 to 1500, virtually tripled. Soybean meal. Look at the lows, 75 to 500. How about wheat? I think the world uses a little bit of wheat. The move off the lows, 558 to 600. How about live cattle? Do you buy any steak? Let's take a look at what the price of steak has done, live cattle. Look at this move off the lows, less than a year, 115 to 134. You see every day what a cost a gallon of gas is doing. How about a gallon of milk? January, Florida, Tampa, Florida, $3.10-15 to 4.20 this morning. Folks, Auntie Janet and the Federal Reserve, they got what they wanted. They wanted inflation. Keeps you working harder, stronger. It's the most insidious tax of all. It erodes your quality, your standard of living. You can get away with it in a high growth economy. But when the economy isn't really growing and you have high unemployment, what do you get? Civil unrest. Auntie Janet's got a problem if this continues. We've seen it around the world. It's a problem. So Something's gonna have to give. And what I heard her talking about the other day is this, this risk of inflation. It can come in, like a thief at night and can move very, very rapidly. She'll be left with one alternative, that is not just to end QE, but to jack short-term interest rates and jack them hard and fast. Go back and look at one of our yield curve videos from the other day to get an idea what happens to the markets in that event. Buckle up, folks. Have a great Easter weekend.